Alright, so we're here with more Dark Souls Remastered, with our playthrough Remastered. So, now I'm gonna get back to the... Now I'm gonna get to the actual, like, stuff.
Yeah.
So, point of the game at this point is, I'm the Chosen Undead, I have to go ring the 2 bells of something or other. I'm spacing on the name.
Yeah.
The Bells of Awakening, I think they're called. And then, like, stuff will happen.
You'll awaken.
Well, something will awaken. It's not a good thing, I don't think. It's an annoying asshole thing, but it's benign.
You know what I really... I've often wondered, what would happen? Or do you think... What do you think about the prospect of... What if the lore of this game was simply explained to people clearly at, well-paced points throughout the game?
Well, the thing is, we have that. That's what Demon Souls was like. And I fucking love Demon Souls.
Okay.
And I mean, I talked about this when we were doing our little, like, one-off of Demon Souls. But one of the reasons I love Demon Souls so much is that it has an actual narrative that's actually happening.
Right.
So, I mean, I love Dark Souls storytelling, Dark Souls has lots of interesting lore, and I love seeing people like Vati, comb through like all the item descriptions and stuff and piece together the story of the world. That's all cool. But the game itself, there isn't a whole lot that's actually going on, especially in Dark Souls 1 and especially in Dark Souls 3. Because Dark Souls 3 was a retread of 1 in a lot of ways.
Right.
There was a lot of negative backlash to the changes they made in 2, so they really turtled up and went, all right, people want more Dark Souls, let's give them more Dark Souls.
Right.
We're going to give them all the old weapons and armor, and we're going to basically do the exact same story. We're going to have another Siegfried, the Onion Knight, and we're going to have, the Sunbro stuff it's really obviously please stop being mad at us for Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
I love Dark Souls 2. But Demon Souls has an actual plot that's occurring as you play it, and I like that a lot. Demon Souls also has a really cool horror game kind of atmosphere. I think I pointed that out when we were playing it.
Right.
And I really like that because they didn't quite know what they were doing, and so they figured, well, you're a dude fighting zombies and shit, and they're all way stronger than you, so let's make this a horror game.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so what I mean is with Dark Souls, you play through everything, and then, at least for me, it was only till the very end, okay, and the very end, and then stuff that I had to look up after, where it was, there's this whole undead thing, there's a cycle, you're just relighting the flame and prolonging the blobbity bloop. And what I mean is, I probably would have liked it if they had just fed that to me slowly throughout the game, rather than,
Well, here's the thing about Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1 has a pretty decent story drip for the first half of the game. You actually have people giving you actual exposition. It's not the real story of the world,
Yeah.
But and that's intentional. Because
right.
you're supposed to get to the end, and then everything, all your expectations are shattered for you.
Exactly. And I get that that's what they were going for, but an info dump is fine, but I don't know. I feel well,
Dark Souls 1 also has a much less complicated story in a lot of ways than the other games, so it's not as big of a deal. But I guarantee you that's how the vast majority of people do play Dark Souls games.
Yeah.
They play through and they glean whatever they can, and they're like, all right, time to see what the internet has to say.
Yeah.
What's Vati gleaned that he can tell me about the game? And I mean, I got to a point where I was just kind of playing the game passively. I would glean what I could glean, but I didn't rack my head going what does the thing on this sword mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that, and I mean, I'm sure those are the people who actually find out the shit.
Yeah.
So good on them. But yeah, people say that the storytelling would be ruined if game did that, and I honestly think there's a balance that can be found.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I think that if you gave me an IV instead of just a small bucket at the end,
yeah,
I'd like it better. But that might just be me.
Well,
I remember this.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is that they could still use that same style of storytelling for all the world building. I mean, because that's all they really have to begin with. Like I said, there's no real like narrative in the Dark Souls games for the most part. It's all like just telling, like informing you how the world came to be, and that you can still do the the low key storytelling.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with using exploration to substitute for straight up narrative.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's not... Maybe then I feel like there's not enough to find that actually confirms things, because I don't like dealing with circumstantial evidence. Unless I have to.
Yeah, I'm actually the same way in that regard. And the thing that kind of bugs me, and it's kind of me being like no fun in no fun mode to an extent, but there's explicit evidence and there's implicit evidence, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So there are things that the game directly, implies to you.
Right.
And there are things that you can infer, or things that you just decide to infer.
Yeah.
From games. So like there's a dude in this game, Havel, and he's trapped in a tower. And I think if you read, I think it's his armor description or something that tells, like, you find him in the tower and he just runs up and starts fucking killing, like murdering you. Right. Like he's gonna one shot you. And if you read, I think, like his armor description and stuff, then it'll tell you that like Havel was like a great like dragon slayer, and like eventually he went like nuts and he got like locked up like in a tower somewhere.
Yeah.
So you can infer, oh, okay, Havel got locked up in this tower. Like that's the kind of storytelling that you deal with in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good way to convey like character stories. But yeah, it's a pretty bad way to convey the entire plot of the game. And I know for a long time, like nobody really knew what was going on with Dark Souls. And on that same like note, it's kind of frustrating when a game like Dark Souls introduces like interesting plot elements, because you never know if that stuff's ever gonna be followed up upon.
Yeah, probably not.
There's a lot of stuff in like Bloodborne we're just never gonna know the answers to.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless that new project they're working on turns out to be a Bloodborne sequel. And there's so much cool shit they introduced in Dark Souls 2, not touched upon at all in Dark Souls 3.
Nope.
And it's never going to be. So
because why not?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't want to. I'm not hating on the game. I do like I do like Dark Souls, but I do have issues with stuff that the like really fanatical people have decreed is like, the soul of the game.
Yeah.
Pun intended. But I
don't know.
Yeah. I didn't mean to go on a giant.
No, it's fine. I was just imagining a world in which this game was actually explained properly. Like
Neo kind of went a little bit too far in the other direction. Like, Neo is very explicit with its story. You can find they're basically like fantasy audio logs. Alright, I forgot these guys respond. You can basically find like fantasy audio logs in Neo, where you just you find like a little like dead body, and then like you interact with it, and you get like a little like bit where the ghost of the person is like relaying their last like thoughts to you, and it's like, oh no, honey, they're breaking through the door, like run, I'll try to hold them. Right. You get a lot of stuff like that, but the actual story is told to you like through straight up cutscenes for the most part.
I forgot how slow the arrows travel.
Yeah, they travel really slow. Although, wow, I didn't even notice that guy.
There's that asshole.
Yeah. And that was the actual reason I bought the bow. There we go. So if you murder these dudes up here who are throwing firebombs at you, it makes this next part like infinitely easier.
He's getting so lucky.
Yeah, like it's kind of hard to find the hitbox sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go to like hitbox.tv, but nobody goes to Hitbox.
Freaking But yeah, I feel. You know what? You know what game I think. What I would is that gonna hit you? Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's a place I can stand where it won't hit me, but I didn't want to be like, you know, screwing around too much.
What
I want to progress here.
Yeah. What I think. What I'd like this game to be like, and man.
It's all good.
No. Yeah, I was just surprised at the inaccuracy of that bow.
It's a short bow. It's not a great bow. that wasn't supposed to be a joke, but I'm taking it. I'm taking full credit for that.
What I would like, I think, to see the game be like, and what I think honestly was one of the best ways, or the games which did exposition, this style of exposition really well, in my mind, were Mass Effect and Dragon Age.
You mean
the first ones?
You mean insofar as like the audio log style of like telling stories?
No. I mean
not like the data log kind of where you just like find.
Yeah, what I mean is the information is there. It's not expressly given to you, but if you go out of your way to look for it, you can learn just a plethora of shit, almost everything. And so the amount of stuff you know is proportionate to how willing you are to go out of your way and look for it. And so if you just play the game, normally is a bad term, but if you're the average player, I suppose,
who's not going to be looking for all that stuff.
Yeah. You'll just go through the game, and at the end of the game, you'll get what you get mandatorily, and you'll sort of have the amount of information you have in Dark Souls, right? But if you're seeking information and you go out of your way and do every nook and cranny, then you're rewarded for that, and you actually know about the world, and it feels good because you sought something out and got it. And so I think a game like this, because it's got this whole slightly annoyingly constructed, well knitted together world where you can just wander everywhere and it's huge, it's perfect to just drop lore crumbs in the distant corners of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So if people go way out of their way, they can get it. And I think, I don't know, what I'm getting at is maybe that's a happy compromise, because the people that say, oh, the storytelling would be ruined if you just gave it to people, you know, you could say, okay, we're not just giving it to people, but the people that say, I actually want a story, can go out and work for it and get it. I don't know. Like you said, I'm trying to get at the happy medium you proposed.
Yeah, and I mean, there are going to be the people who just don't give a fuck about the story.
Right.
That was a common response back when Dark Souls 1 came out, and like it wasn't cool to be a lore nerd.
Yes.
Like, I don't get it. What the fuck happened at the end? That makes no sense. This game is done. Like, lol, look at the faggot who's trying to find like story in this game. This isn't about story. This is about like getting good. And like that's I saw that response so many times. But it's no coincidence for me that the part where I kind of lose interest in this game is around the second half of the game, which is basically where the direct narrative like disappears entirely. Like, at that point, you get your real mission, go fight all the robot masters, and then go kill Dr. Wily.
Yeah. And
then that's it. Like, there's basically no more like direct exposition for the rest of the game.
Right.
And I mean, some people will like that, and some people won't. I personally found it to be kind of boring when, I mean, like I said, like now.
I remember this guy.
Yeah.
Sorry. All these memories
from the last time we did this.
Yeah.
Like now that people know how to find, you know, all the hidden lore in this game. Now I'm sure that if I played through the whole thing again, because I haven't played through the whole thing.
Oh, you did.
Oh, should have got me.
Oh no!
Oh no, he didn't.
He got stunned by the flame.
Yes.
I saw you die. Right there. But he got stunned.
Yeah.
Oh.
Black Knights are hard.
They are hard.
And also, like, haha! No, you don't.
It's so annoying because you only need to tap him once.
Yeah.
Roll! Oh.
I got stuck in the animation. The rolling is also markedly worse in this game than other ones.
Yeah.
Because you can only roll in, like, a straight line.
Yeah.
Whereas in other games, you could, like, kind of finagle it so you can, like, roll behind people.
Yeah, you can curved roll.
Yeah, and it is constantly fucking me up in this game to remember. Like, it's not so bad now, but transitioning from, like, Dark Souls 2 and 3 and Bloodborne...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge pain in the ass. But yeah, like... But yeah, like the first time I played this game, when I didn't know when nobody knew there was like hidden lore everywhere. Like the last part of the game was just a fucking grind. It was like playing through like Castlevania or something.
Yeah.
Like, all right, well now I'm in a big lava cave, and okay, I'm done with the lava cave, and I always forget about this fucking barrel. I always forget about the fucking barrel.
No, Alex,
I just played this the other day. I forgot about the damn barrel. I'm sorry. I'm not as pro as I should be.
It's cool.
But yeah, it's just like, all right, now I'm in like, now I'm in a swamp area, and now I'm in like a fire demon area, and now I'm in like, the graveyard area. Like, it just feels so like disconnected from the game. I don't know, like,
right.
I didn't care for that stuff at the time. I felt that Dark Souls 2 and even 3 to some extent were a lot more cohesive in just... Oops. I was just about to make another fucking gigantic mistake. You gotta go up here.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you gotta go up here and kill the archers. So, I don't know. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing on Dark Souls 1, because it's a fine game.
Yeah, it is.
It's just... There are things about the game that the really hardcore fans are like, no, this is perfect in every way and it can't be better.
Yeah.
And... Well, I feel like there's a lot of things about this game that could have been done better.
Well, the thing is...
should have been done better, like, in the moment. Like, not even with hindsight saying maybe this wasn't a good idea. Just like, this wasn't a good idea from the get-go.
And I mean, okay, yeah. Since some people may confuse what we're doing for bashing, it's... When a game is good, that's when you care enough to go, man, I'd really like to see its flaws taken care of. You know, when a game is good, you want to nudge it closer to perfection.
Yeah, I'd like to see this game, I'd like to see this game work like better than it already is.
Yes, and that's the thing. When a game is, wow, that sucks.
Yeah, that was
when a game is
totally screw up on my fault. I rolled a little bit too.
When a game is just bad and it's bad. I mean, I don't even care enough to go, okay, let's try to fix it. If a game is just real bad, I'll just go, forget it. It's not even worth my time.
Yeah, I have literally nothing good to say about, say, Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah.
Like, I loathe 13 on every conceivable level.
But...
And nothing anyone can say will ever convince me that you could have made 13 good. Like, it was a shit show from the get-go.
I've never fallen asleep on a game before.
Are you talking about 13?
Yeah.
Did you fall asleep?
Yeah. When you were playing it, when I was over here and we were just playing it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but probably because you were just brain dead from doing the actual playing.
I remember a lot of parts when... Like, there were a lot of parts when I literally just turned around in my chair, because you were just sitting on the couch behind my chair.
There was times when you put it on auto and were just looking at me, talking to me.
Well, I was just hitting X.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like, yeah, I just turned... So, hey, Evan, this game sure sucks, right? Yeah, it sure sucks. You're not even looking at the screen.
Yeah. No, but there was a... I remember there was a section in which your eyes had just glazed over, and you were mindlessly pressing the buttons and going through the thing. And I was sitting on the couch.
I believe that.
And I dozed off. And then I woke up again, and you were in a different place, still pushing the buttons, and you didn't even notice. Because I woke up, and I'm like, oh, shit, I fell asleep. And I was about to say, like, oh, shit, sorry, I didn't mean to fall asleep. But I looked, and you were just dead-eyed. And so I was like, oh, he didn't even see me. Like, fuck it, I'm not...
That's funny. I do not remember that being a thing at all.
But,
wow.
Anyway,
all these years,
we're gonna get eviscerated now because everyone loves 13.
Nobody worth listening to loves 13. Like, the people who liked 13 are the ones who think, well, I didn't understand this crap, therefore it must be really smart.
It's lofty, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then and I've seen people argue that it doesn't have a just because you didn't understand the story doesn't mean that it's a bad game. It just means you didn't understand the story. I'm like, fine, asshole, explain it to me. And nobody ever can.
Yeah.
Without delving. Well, they can to an extent if they delve into the fucking gigabytes of the Wikipedia they included in the game.
Yeah.
Man, writing an actual story is hard.
Yeah.
Let's just include a fucking Wikipedia. And then, they couldn't even tell the story that way.
But,
God, I hate 13 so fucking much.
I mean, okay, every game has at least something good, right? So, we can at least say...
Fang was hot?
That Fang and Saz were alright.
Saz was pretty great.
Saz was a cool dude, and Fang was a cool chick.
I liked Snow at first. I mean, I like optimistic people who are trying to be genuinely heroic,
But he crossed over into Lloyd Irving territory at some point.
Well, in 10-2, I don't think you saw that, but he's gone full-blown emo at that point.
In 13-2.
Yeah. So, other
How did what?
Yeah, he's blocking from the back.
You can't do that.
Did I ever mention that Dark Souls has a lot of fucking bugs that
this isn't possible.
I have never seen that. That's hilarious.
Is that how your shield works?
No, not at all. Mine has a radius. That's how backstabs work.
Oh god.
Such blatant cheating. Did you like that sidestep there?
I did. It was awesome, slick.
But yeah, Lloyd Irving is the point where you have gone too far for me. Fuck Lloyd.
Oh god. I remember I was telling you about the
Oh, the barrel's not here this time.
I was telling you're like
I was ready for that.
I remember I was telling you the plot of the sequel about Symphonia 2.
Oh yeah.
And so I goes, yeah, so the plot is that Lloyd is going around and murdering a bunch of people for the Church of Mortel, and your immediate response was like, no, fuck you, that's not Lloyd. It's obviously a clone.
Because it is!
Lloyd couldn't ever possibly Lloyd Prime would come from a different timeline and stop him.
I mean, it's not that he doesn't have the capacity to do it, it's that he's not written that intelligently. There's not enough nuance in his character. They were too fucking lazy with the writing to give him anything more than, nope, we save everybody all the time, no compromises, it's gonna work out somehow.
Yeah.
I can't believe
that guy. Go! For the love of God, drink a thing.
My rage at Lloyd is impacting my gameplay.
But I told you, and you immediately excluded the possibility from reality that Lloyd could ever do a bad thing for any motivational reason.
Because it's called fucking pattern recognition. Also, the Symphonia writers aren't that nuanced. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There are degrees, but yeah, the Symphonia writers just don't have it in them to do a story like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a story where I'm trying to think of a studio who has successfully done a story like that where the good guy ends up being the bad guy in the sequel. But it pretty much always in all the ones I'm thinking of, it turns out to be
it was a copy, or he was mind
controlled. Yeah, or they have a secret plan, or it was Dark Samus or whatever.
Yeah. But, oh man. Anyway, so on topic. Yes, the only reason that we're going on and on about the ways that this game could be better is because we like it and it's actually worth discussing.
Yeah, it is. You can discuss the faults of a thing without actually disliking a thing.
Yeah, and and like I said, I don't even care enough I usually don't want to discuss the faults of a thing unless I actually like it and want it to improve. So,
I like to complain about something up to an extent. Like, I was going on for days, literal days, when I beat Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, well,
so enraged by the ending, and I text you at like 4 in the morning. I was like, Evan, for the love of God, don't play Mass Effect 3. it's gonna retroactively ruin the series for you. And you were like, fuck you. You're like, there's no way I'm not gonna play the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's. And the reason I was so angry about it was I was just genuinely disappointed. You know?
Because Mass Effect 1 and 2 were amazing, and up until the end, 3 was amazing.
Yeah. Literally up until the end.
Yeah.
Like, I was still gung-ho about it, like, right up until, like... Basically, like, right after the final battle, around the point where you get to the point where, like... You can't run properly anymore.
Right.
And you just have to, like, walk down the fucking hallway, like, not get exploded. Like, that's when everything starts to suck, and then you just have, like, the 3-color ending.
Right.
And fuck the 3-color ending.
And for the record, for me... Oh, I thought you were safe.
Yeah, I thought it was safe, too.
For me, 1% of a series... cannot ruin the other 99, but I can understand why it could for a lot of people, because we were promised that everything we'd done would come to a head.
That's the thing. That really is the thing, and that's what kills any desire I have to replay the series again, because, it was so cool to play through 1 and 2 and be like, yeah, everything I'm doing is, like, mattering to some extent.
And the thing is, I'm not without my disappointment, because I can't tell you how sad I am that I couldn't sick the Rachni swarm upon the Reapers.
That was pretty fucking disappointing, yeah.
But,
Hey, hang on,
I'm a man of simple means, and it was still fun for me.
Let me say a thing really quick.
Okay.
So normally at this point, we don't have time to do it in the video. Normally at this point, I show how to get the worm sword, which we did a video.
Yeah, we did, but
I spend like 15 minutes like shooting the tail.
We gotta do it. We gotta do it in HD.
Well,
next time.
Maybe we'll do it next time.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I will show how I get past the dragon, because this is designed to bait you.
Yeah, you're supposed to. You're like, oh god, I can totally. Well,
wow,
unless
yeah.
unless that happens.
That has literally never happened to me ever.
I didn't. You got glitched. Like you got hit by the fire, which caused you to freeze up, and then the wind nudged you back into the fire.
That was fucking amazing.
That was retarded.
Oh my god, I can't believe that.
Okay.
Oh god, I'm actually kind of glad that was on camera.
Yeah.
So.
That's the kind of thing that generally only happens to me, and then you go,
yeah.
What are you talking about? This game doesn't have any glitches out.
Yeah, exactly.
But okay.
Alright, so here's a safe spot.
That was my Sonic 06, by the way. Just now you understand.
So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna shoot him once. That makes him jump down. He's like, alright, let's fight. And I'm like, fuck that shit.
And then you're like, whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah, I'm like, nope, I'm gonna run over here.
Yeah, and he's too big to come in here.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And now I light the bonfire. Because there is a...
And instead of breathing fire into here and destroying you, he just goes, fine, I'm gonna fly away.
I mean, he's gonna come back.
Yeah, he is.
But I have time to do this.
Yeah.
And just like pick up all the shit, including the claymore, which is a really good sword. So
it's quite majestic flying away.
So before we end the video, let me just show you the way the cowardly way to do this. If you don't know how to get past the dragon, the fun way, like I just did, is you go all the way down here. You don't have to do that.
That guy is like, oh.
This is where you stand when you want to be shooting the tail.
Yeah.
And then you got to deal with this guy over here.
And magic.
I mean, it's easier to not get into the fight on the ledge.
Yeah, because...
Stop blocking, ass.
Oh, he's dead.
There, I wasted one. So you can just go through this little passage right here, and you go through these little rats, and you fight them all, and then you end up just past that bonfire I was just at.
Yeah.
But there's a gate in the way, and you can't access the bonfire if you do the easy way. The only way you can access the bonfire is if you make it past if you juke the dragon, then you can access the bonfire. So you end up on the other side of this gate.
Yeah.
And then you can just pull that, and that opens the gate. And then the other reason why you do this is because over here is the altar for the Sunlight Covenant. So once you've co-opted enough, or once you have your faith stat up high enough, you can join the Sun Bros here. So just me liking to be informative. And that's it. So we're done with this video.
But yeah, so anyway, just official opinion. The textures, the remaster looks really good.
Yeah.
And it's worth going back to Dark Souls, I think, just on the graphics alone. Just because it's, better graphics make it fresh.
And just on the community alone also.
Yeah, that's true.
It's so having people to play with makes
you
this game...
You can actually Souls with people again.
Yeah, infinitely more fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see if we feel like doing this whole thing, but if anyone watching wants us to do, I mean, it makes our decision a hell of a lot easier if people want us.
Yeah.
to do a game.
Yeah. Any feedback? We really do need some feedback.
Yeah.
And would appreciate it greatly. So.
But Tim doesn't count.
Yeah.
So
if anyone wants to see Dark Souls, it is the game. I find. I actually like when we play Dark Souls because I find that because you're doing it on muscle memory, we just end up shooting the shit to a higher degree than we normally do, and it's just always hilarious. But like,
well, I mean, maybe we'll do this one. So
okay,
yeah. But I know Tim will watch any fucking garbage we throw at him, so
yeah.
I don't care about his opinion. Anyway, so yeah, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys in whatever we do next.
All right, later on, guys.
Later, guys.